Welcome. Oh my god. Welcome guys to NXT Review here on the channel. If you guys enjoy NXT tonight, hit that like button. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of the show tonight. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells for all notifications so you guys don't miss a single upload of mine that I do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, Monday Night Raw review is live on the channel right now. Link to this video will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper hand corner of your screen, as well as down below in the description. And SmackDown review from this past week. There you go. Freaking OBS is probably lagging on me. SmackDown review is live on the channel right now. Link to this video will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper hand corner of your screen, as well as down below in the description. Make sure you guys are following me on social media. Twitter at GoodVibesChris_, and Instagram at GoodVibesChris183. That's on Twitter and Instagram, as you see on the layouts. It will be down below as well in the description of this very video. Now, I said I wasn't going to record NXT review tonight, but I was in my boy's house, and I'm like, you know what? If I can make it home on time for the NXT Championship match, I'll probably cover the show. So that's exactly what I did. I got home right on time for the NXT Championship match. I'm like, you know what? Let me just cover the show. My thoughts on the show tonight. Pretty good. Not bad. Good show tonight. We got a lot of moving parts on the show tonight. But I have a couple of questions. Here. Why are we getting a two-night takeover show? Somebody in the comment section who's watching this video is probably gonna say, "Oh, Chris, because NXT didn't have a takeover last year, so we gotta do one this year, plus the one for this year originally. So we gotta have two takeovers in 1 week." I bet that's exactly what you're thinking. I don't like it. And we'll go over everything that will happen on the show tonight, including William Regal's 2 announcements tonight. So I just missed the old NXT. I don't know about anybody else here, and I don't know about anybody who's watching this or in the comment section down below. I just don't like the 2-show takeover. I don't like it. The 2-night takeover, I just don't like it. In my opinion, and I said this on Twitter, in my opinion, it just devalues takeover. And on top of that, I don't think NXT has a big enough roster to do 2 takeovers. I don't think so. In my honest opinion, I don't think NXT even has a big enough roster to host 2 takeovers in 1 week. Now think about this, folks. WrestleMania week is going to be a big week, if you really ask me here. Monday Night Raw, you have Raw. Tuesday, you have the Hall of Fame. Not only the 2020 class is getting inducted, but the 2021 class is getting inducted as well. So we're getting 2 Hall of Fame classes in 1 day. Wednesday, you have TakeOver. If you're an AEW fan, then you're watching Dynamite. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, that TakeOver is going to probably beat Dynamite that week. You know, because NXT has to go out with a bang before they move the Tuesday nights on the USA Network. So Wednesday you got TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, plus Dynamite. Then Thursday, you have night 2 of TakeOver, Stand and Deliver. Then you have Friday, SmackDown. Then Saturday, Sunday, WrestleMania. And then Monday night, the next Monday is Raw. And then Tuesday is NXT. You got a big week if you're a content creator. But I'm probably going to review Raw that week. Probably not watch the Hall of Fame. I'm probably going to cover TakeOver that Wednesday. Cover TakeOver that Thursday. Then I have to cover SmackDown Friday. Then Saturday, Sunday is WrestleMania. Then Saturday and Sunday is WrestleMania. If you're a content creator and you're covering wrestling, let me tell you, we have a long week ahead of us that week. I don't like the fact that we're having a 2-night takeover. I don't like it. I absolutely don't like it. And like I said, it devalues takeover. Now, yeah, I remember, before the pandemic, we would have a takeover during the Rumble weekend, WrestleMania weekend. They'll probably have one takeover between WrestleMania and SummerSlam weekend. They had that one little standalone takeover show. And then we get the SummerSlam weekend. And then we get the War Games with Survivor Series weekend. I would love that format. It spreads it out throughout the whole entire year. Rumble weekend, WrestleMania weekend. The one weekend between WrestleMania and SummerSlam, that standalone takeover, like I said. Then you have SummerSlam weekend, then War Games at Survivor Series. That's what, 5, 6 takeovers a year? How many have we had so far this year? What, 3 so far? I mean, we're going to get 3. And people don't have an issue with it. I just don't like the fact that we have a takeover. I mean, I do like the fact that we have a takeover, but two shows? 2 parts? 2 nights? I just don't like it, in my opinion. Then, we get to the biggest part of the show. We'll address the elephant in the room real quick also. I said this also on Twitter. The fact that NXT last week didn't follow through by giving Raquel González and Dakota Kai the women's tag team champions with WWE. You could have gave those titles. But instead, which we'll go over right now in just a second here, I don't know why NXT has women's tag team champions. Don't know why. I don't know why. I would have gone a much different route if you're going to include a different championship for the women. Because the men have what? The North American Championship, the Tag Team Championships, and the NXT Championship. The men have 3 titles. The women only have 2. The NXT Women's Championship, and now, if you saw NXT tonight, the Women's Tag Team titles. But on NXT, just for that brand. Why didn't you just give Dakota Kai and Raquel González, which I said last week? You could have gave those 2 the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships instead of making new championships for NXT that you don't have business even making. I would have not gone with the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. I would have gone with either like a North American type championship, but for the women, or a Women's Intercontinental Championship. Something along those lines. Something along those lines. Now, we got women's NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, not for NXT. And there's no women's division in NXT. When it comes to the women's tag team titles. There's no women's tag team division in NXT. Now NXT is going to have a whole bunch of makeshift tag teams. I basically just went over Regal's announcement here. So I might as well just jump into the show. I might as well. I basically just covered that up, basically. Which what NXT kicked off with. William Regal's 2 announcements. The takeover shows that we're having on April 7th and April 8th. And the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. So Regal says they're the best female competitors in the world, which I agree. NXT has a stacked up women's division. They do. And prove it every week. Regal invites Dakota Kai and Raquel González down to the ring. Now, if you guys missed the takeover is called NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. That is the takeover show that is called. Now, Regal says that after the injustice of last week with the Women's Tag Team Championship match, he is sorry. He is sick of waiting for others to make decisions for him, so he's about to make a big one. Regal then moves around a table in the ring and pulls a cloth off, and the newest titles in NXT, the Women's Tag Team Championships. So Dakota Kai and Raquel González are basically given the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Meanwhile, you could have just gave them the win last week over Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. You could have just simply done that. And then have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships officially, permanently on NXT. Instead of making new championships. Now you have 2 sets of Women's Tag Team titles, which I don't like whatsoever. Not only have makeshift tag teams on the main roster, now you're going to create makeshift tag teams in NXT. Main roster-ish? I think so. And I don't like that at this point. I don't like it. Kayden González lift the titles, and Dakota says Regal is right. This is the best women's division in the world. Agree. And they beat everyone. They were so good that NXT had to create titles for them. Raquel says this is just one step, or step one, and them taking over the world, and they're going to carry those belts for a very, very long time. We'll get to that as we go on with the show. Shotzi Blackheart Ember Moon make their way down to the ring and offer a half-hearted congratulations. Ember says it's great to have champions, but they need challengers. They remind Kai and González that they also won every match of the bracket in the Dusty Cup. And the final could have gone either way, so why not run it back tonight? William Regal loves the idea, and he books the match for later tonight, which means 3 title matches, the first of which is happening right now. We'll get to the Women's Championship in just a second. So let me get this straight. And I don't like this whatsoever. You fucked up last week by not giving Raquel González and Dakota Kai the Women's Tag Team titles, or should I be specific, the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. You come into this week giving William Regal a second announcement for the show. You have Regal's announcement kick off the show, announcing 2 TakeOver shows on April 7th and April 8th. And not only that, Raquel González and Dakota Kai are awarded brand new NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Can I ask, why do we have NXT Women's Tag Team titles in NXT? Main roster-ish? I think so. Now, another point that I want to come up with here is you're making a rematch from the finals of the Dusty Cup with Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, with Dakota Kai and Raquel González. Why am I getting a rematch from Vengeance Day, which that was a great match, by the way, fantastic match, by the way, one of the best matches of the entire show, and you're putting it on free TV for a championship that right now has no meaning to it. Right now, at this point, in my opinion, the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships are completely worthless. And I'll tell you why as we get on to the review. Show kicked off with the Women's Championship between Io Shirai and Toni Storm. Match was good for what it was. I liked it. Match was good. Now, I'm thinking to myself, with the announcement of Regal announcing a TakeOver show on April 7th and April 8th, does Io Shirai walk in the TakeOver as NXT Women's Champion? Most likely, yes. She can't lose in this match. She can't lose. She can't lose. She has to walk in the TakeOver as champion. Right? That's exactly what happens here. Match was good for what it was. Match was good. I love both women. I just can't get behind Toni Storm's heel turn. I just can't get behind it. I just can't. She's good in the ring, don't get me wrong. Toni Storm is great in the ring. She's fantastic. But for a heel promo, she can't cut. She can cut a decent promo, but with a heel promo, no, she can't cut that whatsoever. I have to take her more serious as a heel. But right now I just can't, because I just can't take her heel turn serious. I just can't. Io Shirai retains the NXT Women's Championship. Great match here for what it was here. Back inside the ring, Io goes to the top rope, but Toni grabs her, hits a powerbomb for a near fall. Toni grabs Storm. No, Toni warns Storm 0, but Io counters and applies a crossface. Storm reaches for the ropes to force a break, but Io quickly follows up with a running knee. Shirai goes to the top rope for a moonsault, but nobody's home. Then Toni grabs her, hits Storm Zero for a near fall. I thought that was the point where Storm was going to win the title at that point. Storm scales the buckles and leaps for a diving headbutt, but Io rolls out of the way. Then goes back to the crossface and Storm taps out as Io Shirai retains the NXT Women's Championship. So there you go. Match is good for what it was. Not bad. But I got to ask the question here. And I'm a man full of questions here. Who does Io Shirai defend the championship against that TakeOver? You have a stacked up women's division. Probably against Candice LeRae. Most likely. In a one-on-one match. I would love that. Sure. Gives me NXT TakeOver Toronto vibes from 2019. And by the way, off topic here, side note here, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae delivered the best women's match of 2019. Go back to NXT TakeOver Toronto and watch that match. Fantastic stuff between those two women. We see Finn Bálor here backstage, and he says he and Cole are the two biggest things in NXT history. You can see that. It's up for debate, though. Balor says last week Cole was acting a big man when he had referees holding him back, but tonight there won't be any of that. There will only be two of them fighting for the NXT Championship. Balor reminds Cole that he beat him to win the NXT Championship, and he says he'll do it again to retain the belt. Isn't it the word belt banned in Vince's vocabulary? Not Triple H's. There you go. LA Knight's interview backstage. I fucking hate this guy. I don't know about if you like LA Knight. I really seriously question you. I really do. But I just don't get the gimmick. I just don't. So LA Knight is interviewed backstage and he says last week everyone thought he might wrestle, but that time might be next week. He says if anyone can get enough tingle in their drawers, he'll be happy to shut them down. Bronson Reed grabs Knight from behind and shakes him down until referee pulls him apart. Reed says he'll take the challenge and Knight says it's his time, not Reed's. So I'm guessing we're getting LA Knight's in-ring debut next week, most likely against Bronson Reed. I love Bronson Reed. He is fantastic. Love him. We got Jake Atlas against Pete Dunne. In-ring competition here with Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, the NXT Tag Team Champions at ringside. Now, just by name value and by, just by default, who you guys thought won this match? If you guys thought Pete Dunne, you're a smart individual. Pete Dunne wins here. Match is alright for what it was. Jake Atlas had a fine showing here. Really fine showing here. Pretty good showing here. Atlas and Dunne go back and forth with reversals until Jake hits a lariat. Atlas goes to the top rope, looks to hit a handspring, arm drag across the ropes, but Dunne swipes him off, and he crashes and burns. Dunne follows up with a kick to the back of the head, then attacks the arm before snapping it back and holds on to an arm bar until Jake Atlas taps out. Pete Dunne wins via submission. I love me some Pete Dunne. I love Pete Dunne here. After the match, Pete Dunne gets on the microphone with Burch and Lorcan flanking him. Dunne says this is the time of year when people want to make a name for themselves, but this is what happens when they step to him. Dunne says he made a name for himself in the UK, and all of a sudden, Imperium cut a promo from backstage, and Marcel Bartel talks to Timothy Thatcher. He said a long time ago they created something very special, something nobody will be able to overcome, and it's time to fall in line. Eichner says they're here for Thatcher, but if he needs Ciampa's permission, they'll make it work. Interesting stuff here, to be honest here. Interesting stuff here. So, I don't know what they're going with this. We'll probably get maybe a takeover match between Imperium versus Dunne and Burch and Lorcan. Probably. We don't know that yet. I mean, they still got to build towards TakeOver. They do got a couple of weeks to build for TakeOver. So let's see what happens there. So Leon Ruff cut the promo saying he knew Isaiah Scott was a snake from the first time he met him. Ruff says people think he lucked his way into NXT, but he scratched and clawed to get to where he is. He knows Swerve has been in the opening matches of NXT forever, but next week he's going to have a rough landing. There you go. So we go to the 9 o'clock hour. Remember how I said that when Raquel González said that they were going to hold the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships for a very long time? They only held the championships for an hour, folks. Only an hour. NXT Women's Championship. Well, NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. Dakota Kai and Raquel González defend against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Basically the same thing we saw back at TakeOver Vengeance Day. The match is really good for what it was here. But the ending to this match really shook my head. Not only shook my head, but also scratched my head at the same time. This was a head scratcher. Don't get me wrong, the match was good. I love all four ladies, I do. Well, I love Shotzi Blackheart more. But we'll go over it here. So Moon holds Kai in the middle rope, and Shotzi hits a running knee to the back and tags out. Moon hits the knees to Kai and leaps over the ropes with a splash to Kai. Moon tags out and they both hit a wheelbarrow slam, but Raquel grabs Blackheart with a choke from behind. Shotzi lands a jawbreaker to get free, then Moon attempts to eclipse, but González catches her, which is very impressive by the way there. Moon jumps on Raquel's shoulders and Kai inadvertently runs into them, knocking González over the ropes to the floor. Then Shotzi rolls up Dakota Kai and gets the 1, 2, 3. Your winners and new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Why? Don't get me wrong. I love Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. They're a great tag team. Don't get me wrong. They're a great tag team. But at the same time, the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships are already worthless. In my book. I don't know about you guys, but in my book, it's already worthless. You had Dakota Kai and Raquel González awarded the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships only for them to drop it an hour later. Remember when Raquel González said in the opening of the show that she said that they was going to hold the championships for a very long time? Yeah, 1 hour later, hun. 1 hour later, you dropped the titles. I give up with NXT at this point. I give up. Why? And on top of that, why are you even having this match? I asked the question. Why are you even having this matchup? Not only you have the matchup tonight, but you could have held this for a TakeOver. You could have had the match at TakeOver. You gave me the Dusty Cup final rematch on the show tonight. The difference is there's NXT Women's Tag Team Championships involved. So basically now, if you really think about this now, Raquel González and Dakota Kai won the Dusty Cup for nothing. For nothing. They win the fucking Dusty Cup. They get a WWE Women's Tag Team title shot. They got fucked over last week. Only for this week to be awarded the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Only to lose to Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart an hour later. This matchup was at the 9 o'clock hour of the show. The 9 o'clock hour. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, they win the titles. Now I ask the question, who do they face at TakeOver if they're even going to have the match at TakeOver? Who do they face at TakeOver? Dakota Kai and Raquel González again? I don't want to see that again. I've already seen this twice in the last 4 weeks. Well, almost in the last month. gave me this matchup twice in the last 4 months. I don't get it, folks. I just don't get it. I don't get it. If that was the point, I understand you was high on Raquel González here. But why is she losing? Why is she losing? If you were so high on her, why she's losing? You had her win the fucking Dusty Cup with Dakota Kai. And NXT was so high on fucking Raquel González. So why are you having her lose? I don't know. I'm confused about this. This is a head scratcher. We got new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions in Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Adam Cole is pacing backstage, and he says a lot of people keep asking why he did what he did. Well, a few weeks ago, Kyle O'Reilly stepped out of place, and he put him down. Then last week, Ryder Strong tried to question him, and he beat him down. Cole says he reminded them who the leader is, and the Undisputed Era is only dead when he says so. So far, he is concerned he just got rid of the dead weight. I love that line by Adam Cole. As for tonight, Cole says people look at Finn. Well, Cole says people look at Finn as the greatest NXT champion ever, but then he came along and he held the title for over 400 days and beat everyone in NXT. Tonight, he wins the title back, and if they thought his first reign was special, just wait. I love Adam Cole's promo. I love it. Love it. Adam Cole, baby. We see Shotzi and Ember making their way backstage and getting applause from all the women except Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. They walk off and meet Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. He asked about the therapy last week, and Gargano says he only paid the therapist because it doesn't come free. They don't come cheap either. Gargano reminds Theory that Loomis said he was annoying and had an average abdominal section. Abdominal section. That's the last straw for Theory, who rips his shirt off and leaves. I wonder what happens. I'm guessing we're getting a Dexter Loomis Gargano match for the North American Championship at TakeOver. Should be good. I like it. Should be good. Should be very, very good. Kayden Carter goes one-on-one with Xia Li with Balor in ringside. To be honest, this is the one match in the show that I did not care about. Just didn't. I don't get it. The Xia Li presentation is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but if you think for 1 second that Bruce Pritchard is going to fucking see this and he's going to stick to it, you got a whole nother thing coming. Xia Li wins by disqualification here. Xia stomps Carter, throws her head over the heels into the turnbuckles. Lee continues to target the knee the same way she did to Casey. Lee drags Kayden under the bottom rope and stomps on her leg over and over, then stares at Casey before putting Kayden's leg up on the rope. She's about to stomp on it when Casey smacks her on the back with her crutch. So Xia Li wins by DQ here. After the bell, Casey hits Xia again with the crutch, then chases her into the ring. Catanzaro yells at Lee, then hits her over and over with the crutch until she rolls from the ring. Balor comes in, grabs the crutch from Casey, then breaks the crutch in half. Balor steps towards Casey, but Kayden hits her from behind with a crutch, and they hightail it. I don't know where they're going with this from here, and to be honest with you, I don't care. Match is It is what it is at this point. Jordan Devlin, we haven't seen him in a while, unless if you're watching NXT UK. Jordan Devlin is sitting in Dublin Airport, and he says it's been a hell of a year. He's really sick of the Irish weather, and he thinks it would be a real shame if the next TakeOver didn't have the real Cruiserweight champion. Well, his travel ban has been lifted, and that means Santos Escobar's time playing champion is up. He's coming to NXT next week to find out who the real Cruiserweight champion is once and for all. I love me some Jordan Devlin. He's great in the ring. I love him. Love him. He was trained by Finn Bálor. Love him. Love him. So coming out of commercial break, we get Santos Escobar backstage with Regal, and he's not happy. He says Devlin is coming back and is claiming to be the real Cruiserweight champion, but we all know that's not the case. Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, I was about to say fucking Raquel González, and Raul Mendoza appear, and he tells them to go take care of business because he's busy. So we get the match between Legado del Fantasma against the Grizzled Young Veterans. Actually short. The match is underway with Mendoza and Zach Gibson. Zach looks for a snapmare, but Mendoza flips over and lands on his feet. Mendoza beats Gibson back and he tags James Drake. Mendoza drops Drake and backs him into the corner and tags Wild. As Joaquin is beating on Drake, out comes Fandango and Breezango as astronauts. Distracting Wild and Mendoza, the two astronauts. I'm just spaced out here because the match is fucking at this point. Not bad here. Take their helmets off. The two astronauts take their helmets off, revealing it's actually Wesley and Nash Carter, which is the MSK. MSK shows up. Ends up being an MSK. Grizzled Young Veterans are stunned, and Wild rolls up Drake for the victory. Legado del Fantasma wins the match here because of the fuckery of MSK. Now, we're probably going to get some sort of crazy matchup between MSK and the Grizzled Young Veterans, probably at TakeOver. Should be good. I like it, but at the same time, I like MSK. I do. I like MSK. They're a very good tag team. Bright tag team. And they clearly showed that they belong in NXT. So Carter drops Drake. Then Wesley smashes Gibson's hand on the steps with his helmet. Fantasma is smiling in the ring, but Breezango appears from behind and beat them down. Wild gets hit with a super kick from Breeze and a Falcon arrow from Fandango. Then they leave. MSK get in the ring and then dance with Breezango. Folks, it is what it is. Moving on here with the show. I mean, yeah, not bad of a match here. Not bad here. I like all four teams here. I do. Breezango's a pretty good tag team here. You got Legado del Fantasma and Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. They're a great tag team here. Then you got the Grizzled Young Veterans from NXT UK, great tag team. And you got MSK also. NXT Tag Team Division, with those four teams alone, they're a better tag team division than Raw and SmackDown put together. It's been like that for years. Just saying here. Moving on to the show here, Raquel González and Dakota Kai sitting backstage for an interview. They ask about the short title reign and say it doesn't matter how long the ring was. They want the belts back. Suddenly, Io Shirai appears and speaks in Japanese to González. Io says, "I want you next." And González tells her to be careful what she wishes for. Are we getting a Raquel González, Io Shirai type match at TakeOver? Does Raquel González win the NXT Women's Championship? Possibly. If you're pushing her, you might as well do it. To be honest with you, but then again, I say this: if you're the best woman in your division, you should be champion. And Io Shirai is the best woman in their division, next to Mercedes Martinez. Then you have then you got Raquel González. You got a whole bunch of women there, that you can push. But Raquel González and Io Shirai for TakeOver, NXT Women's Title match. Take my bank account. Take my bank account. Coming on a commercial break, Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa are backstage and they ask about joining Imperium. Ciampa says he isn't interested, but he's interested in the general, the guy who sits across the pond with his title and lets the goons do his bidding. So he's thinking they're enemies, and he wants to face them, Thatcher looks confused. I'm guessing we're gonna get Timothy Thatcher joining Imperium. Maybe, possibly, who knows? Quién sabe. I mean, I wouldn't mind it though. If this is going to help Timothy Thatcher with his character and everything else, I like it. He's good in the ring. I like it. And then Champa feuds with Thatcher again. Listen, man, that Champa, man, it's a tale of it's crazy how a year makes a big difference. A lot can happen in 1 year. You see Champa in 2020 last year, around this time last year, on the top of the NXT card. Now this year, look where he's at. That is sad. That is really fucking sad. And I loved Tommaso Ciampa when he was a heel. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with Ciampa. I have no idea. But Ciampa needs to have some championship gold soon. Especially when things are starting to, open up and things are slowly going back to normal. Ciampa has to have some gold on him. He has to have some gold. Ciampa needs Goldie back. Please. Give Ciampa Goldie back. Any way, shape, or form. Give it back to him. Because this is really beneath Ciampa. This is really beneath him. NXT Championship match, the main event of the show here. Adam Cole versus Finn Bálor. I love how Vic Joseph said, and this is a really good point here, Adam Cole is wearing the same exact attire when he won the NXT Championship from Gargano at NXT TakeOver 25. That's something I can appreciate. I love that. A little attention to detail there real quick. So we get Balor versus Cole, NXT Championship. Match was great. This was a great main event here. Great matchup between these two. Anytime Finn Balor and Adam Cole share a ring together, it's always art. It's just art. I just love it. So Cole goes to the middle rope. Hits Panama Sunrise, which I love, for another near fall. Cole can't believe it. He looks out. He looks out of ideas, but Finn looks like he's barely concussed and he's holding the jaw. He really did look concussed at that point here. Cole does Finn's own taunt, points at him before hitting the ropes for another last shot, but Balor jumps up, tosses Cole over the ropes. Cole gets up and Kyle O'Reilly is standing on the other side of the barricade. Cole looks like he's seen a ghost, and Balor comes over the ropes for a tope. Balor hits 1916 on the floor, then gets Cole back on the inside. Coup de grace seals the deal for the Prince as Finn Balor retains the NXT Championship. After the match, O'Reilly hops over the barricade, and out comes Kyle O'Reilly into the ring, stares at Balor, who points at Cole and nods. O'Reilly bends down, looks and talks to Cole, who begs for forgiveness, then looks for a low blow. O'Reilly catches the hand, or the arm I should say. Kyle kicks Cole and unloads with rights and lefts. O'Reilly forces Cole back into the corner, but the referee pulls him back. Cole rolls outside, but O'Reilly goes after him and batters him. The referee tries to stop him, but Kyle shoves him and slams Cole into the barricade again and again. O'Reilly looks to hit the brainbuster on the steel steps, but referees run down and stop him. Cole tries to get away, but O'Reilly chases after him, beats him not again. They run backstage, and we're left with the NXT champion alone in the ring. Balor looks over his shoulder, says, "What took you so long?" And as soon as he turns around, Karrion Kross is behind Finn Balor. They stare at each other face to face as NXT goes off the air. Great main event here, guys, for the NXT Championship. We basically alone. Not confirmed yet, but basically at the same time, basically confirmed. 2 matches could possibly be confirmed for TakeOver, and I'm expecting them to make this announcement next week, as they gotta build towards TakeOver, stand and deliver. We're probably getting Cole and O'Reilly one-on-one. We're probably getting Cole and O'Reilly one-on-one at TakeOver, and we're getting Balor versus Kross for the NXT Championship. I like that match. I like those 2 matches alone. Now, I don't know if you guys would do this, but if it were me and I'm booking TakeOver, I'm booking Cole versus O'Reilly, night 1, to main event night 1 of the show, or unless they put a championship match there, which I highly doubt here. You put Cole and O'Reilly to main event night 1. Obviously, Cross and Balor is going to main event night 2, most likely, for the NXT Championship. You have Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly because O'Reilly basically cost Adam Cole the NXT Championship. Basically, Kyle O'Reilly cost Adam Cole the NXT Championship because O'Reilly distracted Cole during the match. And Cole lost focus of the matchup. If I'm Triple H and if I'm NXT management, the winner of Cole and O'Reilly, they can do this. They don't have to, but this is how I'm booking it. The winner of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in their match at TakeOver Night 1 will move on to Night 2. And be involved in the NXT Championship match between Finn Bálor and Karrion Kross. They can certainly go down that road if they want to. I don't see them doing a fatal 4-way for the NXT Championship. At this point in time, I don't really see it. But they can certainly do that now that they have a TakeOver show during WrestleMania week. Or they can simply put Cole and O'Reilly, main event night 1, and Balor and Kross, main event night 2. They can certainly do that. Or, if you want to book Cole and O'Reilly, the winner of that match against a future NXT Championship match. They get a future NXT title match. I would love O'Reilly and Kross for the NXT title. I would love that. Especially when Kyle O'Reilly can sell his ass off. Listen, Kyle O'Reilly is one tough son of a bitch. He's one tough guy. He's one tough dude. Can you imagine the dynamic with Kyle O'Reilly and Kross? Oh my God. Take my money. Hamon favor. Take my fucking money. O'Reilly and Kross for the NXT Championship? Now, I'm not saying O'Reilly could win the matchup, but it makes a very good matchup. Very good matchup. And that's how NXT ended off, folks. That's how NXT ended. Very good show tonight, to be honest with you. Very good show. I heard Dynamite was even better, so I have to go watch that on DVR. I'll watch it while I'm uploading this review for NXT up on YouTube. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of NXT and how would you book TakeOver? How do you feel about the 2-night TakeOver show? How do you feel about NXT having women's tag team champions on the show, official on the roster? I don't like it, but it is what it is. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support. Hit that subscribe button down below, or should I say smash that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells, guys, for all notifications, as I will be uploading every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Before I show you guys Raw review and SmackDown review from this past week, programming note, WrestleMania week. I will be covering Monday Night Raw, TakeOver, both TakeOver shows, night 1 and night 2. What else is there? SmackDown on Friday, cause the Hall of Fame's on Tuesday. So Monday Night Raw, I will cover Raw review that Monday on the Go Home show before WrestleMania. So Raw review you guys will get. Tuesday's the Hall of Fame. I will not. Well, why would I want to talk about the Hall of Fame? So that's Tuesday. Wednesday's TakeOver, night 1. Thursday's TakeOver, night 2. I will cover that on the show. Friday, SmackDown, the Go Home show for WrestleMania for SmackDown. That's Friday. Then WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday I will cover. So you guys are going to get a lot of content that week. Raw review, TakeOver review from both shows, SmackDown review that Friday, and the WrestleMania review Saturday and Sunday. So look at that. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 6 videos, including 5 in a row. With TakeOver Wednesday, TakeOver Thursday, Friday Night SmackDown, WrestleMania Saturday, and WrestleMania Sunday. That is 5 videos that week. So if you guys are ready for WrestleMania weekend, ready for TakeOver, you guys better hit that subscribe button down below. And turn on that button, guys, for all the notifications. Raw Review is live on the channel right now, as well as SmackDown Review from this past Friday. Link to both these videos will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper hand corner of your screen, as well as down below in the description. And I will see you guys on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. What happens on SmackDown Friday? I have no idea, but we are building towards Bum Lane. I will not call it Fasting. I'm calling it Bum Lane. That will be on Sunday, March 21st. But I'll see you guys on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. Till then, guys, I'm Chris. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video all over social media. I'll see you guys on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown to round off the week of content here on the channel. Till then, guys, have a good night. Wear a mask. Stay hydrated. Always have hand sanitizer on you. See you guys on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. Till then, guys, talk to you guys later. Peace.